Hello there. Welcome back to another episode with me, Joy Nandy, where I'm going to continue reading from my book, Artha, God Wants Us to Be Rich. Today's topics are very important for us to know in life. And they are the four purposes of man, and also known as Purusharthas in Sanskrit, and also the four stages of our lives. Both of them interconnect with each other, and that's why they are both very important information to know in our lives and what we should do while we exist on earth. So let's get started. Man's purposes: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. The Hindu spiritual scriptures have revealed man's purposes while he lives on earth as the above. We may think that anything spiritual only involves the subtle aspects of life and not the material. But we will find here that the material world exists and subsists within the spiritual world, that everything is one. Purusharthas, Sanskrit, means man's purposes. The Hindu holy scriptures have already outlined how every human being should live in this world, and wealth and pleasure seem to be very much parts of it. Yes, indeed, a successful and happy life of internal and external abundance is the recipe for success and happiness, and the prescribed way of living for men. We are meant to live in material wealth and not suffer in poverty and lack. We need this wealth for our material happiness and fulfillment. Just as spiritual knowledge and practice give inner fulfillment. It is to afford our desires, which come under karma or pleasure. The idea here is that we need to be happy in and out and not experience lack in any area of our lives. We need to care not only for our material existence, but also that of those who depend on us, such as our spouse, children, societies, charities, country, causes, and others. We are here only to be in service to others, and we need some money to help others. Without money, we will not be able to even pursue our spiritual journey, nor be able to donate to the places of worship whose only income is donation, do charity, or educate our children. Having a charitable heart without having the means to help is not helpful. So, money is required in life, but we need to adopt the mind of a saint to manifest and retain this money by learning these important spiritual laws. Now we go on to the next topic, which is the four stages and purposes of man. Hinduism defines the theory of Purusharthas to evolve around Varna Ashrama, or the four stages of life. This is important to know before knowing the four purposes of man because they relate back. The four stages of life. 1. Brahmacharya, which is the celibate student life. 2. Grihastha, which is married and householder phase. 3. Vanaprastha, which is retirement phase and handing over of assets and business responsibilities to family. 4. Sannyasa, which is renunciation phase. Each stage of life above is practiced at the stages in the four purposes of man, as they are numbered in the next page. So the Brahmacharya shall practice Dharma, and the Grihastha shall engage in Artha and Kama. The Vanaprastha can enjoy retirement and the company of his grandchildren, and when older, he will take up sannyasa and renounce all worldly pleasures in pursuit of self-realization. Dharma is observed throughout a person's life on earth for balance. The Purusharthas, or man's purposes, are as follows. The four purposes of man. 1. Dharma, which is virtuous, righteousness, duty. 2. Artha, which is wealth, security, money. 3. Kama, which is desire, pleasures. 4. Moksha, which is liberation, freedom. These are two material and two spiritual purposes. Let's explore what each of them entails. It has to be noted that these four are connected to each other and are not standalones, and will have to be practiced simultaneously, with moksha being the last goal. Artha and kama, material purposes, are common to all animals in the world, but dharma and the pursuit of moksha, spiritual purposes, are for human beings alone, and they are what separate us from animals, because animals can't read or listen to spiritual scriptures to acquire this knowledge of liberation. This is why a human birth is so very precious and regarded the highest birth form for the soul to take because of its intellectual capacity. A person's life is considered not lived or wasted if he or she does not take the initiative to realize his or her real identity in this lifetime. And as it turns out, it also happens to be the main ingredient needed to manifest happiness and wealth. Here are the detailed explanations of the four purposes of men according to the Hindu holy scriptures. 1. Dharma, which is virtuous, righteousness, duty. Dharma means natural law or cosmic order. Everything in the world is sustained by the harmony and balance of dharma. Dharma is the fundamental principle that many cultures follow, including Buddhism and Hinduism. A person is born to fulfill his or her dharma or duties. It involves righteous and compassionate actions at all times demonstrated on all that live. This is why we find that most practicing Buddhists and many Hindus do not eat meat. Compassion and non-violence take precedence for the maintenance of overall harmony and balance in the world. We should not inflict pain or harm onto anyone and anything, but be helpful. Dharma is our rightful duty. Our duty can be anything, being a doctor, writer, architect, businessman, painter, mechanic, drain sweeper, or a parent. It is a way to make sure that we are always serving others and the universe or God. Dharma balances the whole world and is what supports artha and kama, and this is why dharma has to be conscientiously observed within the pursuit of artha and kama and not flaunted. If flaunted, it causes an imbalance to a person's world, causing suffering for the person. It also affects the whole world. The practice of dharma should start from a young age and continue throughout. Our dharma can come in the form of a calling, and a person's dharma can change over time. Self-realization can help in identifying our dharma, our true calling or purpose. In fact, the original name of Hinduism is Sanatana, eternal, Dharma, cosmic order. This illustrates the importance of the role of dharma plays in life and in this world for prosperity and happiness. The eternal dharma maintains and preserves all creation, human beings, animal kingdom, plant life, and material elements. Dharma sustains everything that was created at the beginning of the universe. By doing the right thing at every instance in life is the Hindu's way of life in accordance to Dharma. Dharma is the underlying force that sustains the world, and everything depends on it. 2. Artha, which means wealth, security, money. Here, a person is expected to earn money or artha to support his or her family's material existence in the best way. Artha should also be used for our spiritual development and for other charitable causes. This money earned is to be used as a person's security in the world. We can earn and enjoy wealth without guilt, because it is clearly stated in the Hindu sacred scriptures that we must accumulate wealth. Without wealth, we will not be able to donate to the places of worship we support, and many of these places survive only on donations. There is nothing wrong in having prosperity and affluence in our life. We should view wealth or artha as a spiritual object supported by dharma at all times, and the sanctioner none other than God. Without money, it can be difficult to focus on one's spiritual journey. However, the most important thing to remember about wealth and money is never to be attached to it or identify with it, for that would create a false identity. We can possess and enjoy something, but we do not need to be possessive. After all, at the final stage of these purusharthas, at the stage of moksha, this is what we are meant to do anyway, detach ourselves from the attachment to our possessions that have caused us bondages. So we need liberation from these bondages created by our attachment, or a person will never be happy. When a person is aware of these laws and then earns artha, he or she will never be a slave to his or her wealth and shall be happy with it. 3. Kama, meaning desires, pleasures. The purposes of men are closely connected to the 4 stages of man, where we shall perform these 4 purposes according to our age or growth, with each stage lasting for 25 years. So earning wealth and having desires are things that we will perform in the grihastha stage. We need artha to provide for our karma by divine law. In the householder or grihastha stage, we are allowed to indulge in desires and pleasure with the wealth we made to entertain ourselves and our families. This karma also refers to sense pleasures. It includes sex. It is required for the world to go on. Without attraction and sex, no one will get married, and there will not be future generations to keep the globe going and the balance of dharma ensured. However, the intimate relations mentioned here is not for promiscuity or random sex, but for procreation through marriage. Sages say that every couple should try to bring at least 2 children into the world. These pleasures include the subtle sense pleasures too, such as sound, taste, smell, and sight that attract us. We may like something we taste, smell, hear, or see, like a sunset. We are allowed to enjoy pleasures, but with moderation or balance. Everything and everyone has to abide by the code of balance that is dharma. Again, never get attached to karma, for we will need to renounce this too at the next stage. 4. Moksha, meaning liberation, freedom. Now we reach the final stage. This is liberation from the previous 2 purusharthas. This is the stage where we are meant to sever our attachment with our wealth, assets, and relationships and proceed towards self-realization and God-realization with the sword of spiritual knowledge. Once realized, that's moksha. A person has achieved the goal of life. The subject of moksha involves knowing our real identity and realizing that our real true self needs nothing external to be happy, because soul is not something material that has desires for material things. The subject of the self or soul is very important in manifestation. When a person has realized him or herself and is free from lure of worldly attractions, that is moksha or liberation. These 4 purusharthas are to be practiced with the right balance. Do not give more attention to artha and kama, because this is what we have been practicing and we are not wealthy or happy. Artha should not be used for ego boosting or to show off. Our wealth is to be used to help humanity and all that live. When it comes to karma, ignorance of this knowledge can make a person a sex maniac, as many are already. The order of importance of each of these stages is outlined by their corresponding numbers, meaning dharma is the most important. While moksha is also important, it is only so after the 3 other previous stages are achieved. For the stage of moksha, is to say goodbye to artha and kama. Inasmuch as these four purusharthas seem to be a guide for man to conduct himself in the material world, it is yet an objective of God or the Supreme Self. And since God resides in every individual, it hence becomes the aim of the individual's spiritual objective towards his or her liberation or happiness. So that was the end of the four purposes of man and the four stages of our lives. So as you will see here, the subject of artha or wealth and money are required in life. So if we were under the notion that wealth and money are not spiritual, that to be spiritual we have to live a pauper's life, well, that is not true, because it is already stated in our shastras or our spiritual scriptures that these four are together, which is dharma, artha, kama and moksha, which are the four purposes of man. If you'd like to download this book in an e-book format, you may please go to my website, which is www.joynandy.co/ebooks. If you enjoyed today's reading, please subscribe to my channel and give it a like, and please share it with somebody who you think might benefit from it. I'll be continuing to read this book. The next topic is the 10 rules of Dharma, which is so important. We all seem to know about Dharma, we know the word, but we don't know what it truly means. So this book is going to go deeper into all these important topics that will help guide us in life, and to make the acquisition of wealth a spiritual journey instead of a stressful thing that we are currently practicing. Thank you very much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.